Good day, everyone. We are Group 2 and we are here to present about Middle America, which comprises of Central America, the Caribbean, and Mexico.
First, we will discuss the general history. Middle America is the geographic realm and the territorial transition between the United States and South America. It consists of Central America, Caribbean, and Mexico. Central America refers to the 7 countries or states south of Mexico, which are Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. Meanwhile, the Caribbean region consists of more than 7,000 islands, where 4 of which, called the Greater Antilles, include Cuba, Jamaica, Hispaniola, and Puerto Rico, while the smaller islands are called the Lesser Antilles. And lastly, Mexico is the largest country in Middle America and the 8th largest country in the world. Collectively, these 3 regions are characterized by their prominent cultural and political diversity. Before the arrival of the Europeans, Middle America was settled by different indigenous groups where Mesoamerica, considered one of the earliest civilizations in the world, was founded. The Maya and the Aztec were 2 groups in the region who had a strong impact on the cultural landscape of Middle America. However, European colonialism impacted Middle America in a lot of ways, from its food production, land holding patterns, politics, urbanization, language, and religion, among others. Middle America is divided according to 2 types of development patterns that emerged with European colonialism, and these 2 geographical areas are called the Rimland and the Mainland. The Rimland includes the Caribbean island and coastal regions. Colonialism thrived here because the islands and coastal areas were more accessible to European ships, making it easier for colonists to claim an island. The wealthy Europeans transformed the claimed areas into plantation agriculture, usually monocultures, meaning only a single crop is grown. These crops include sugarcane, tobacco, cotton, or fruit, which are mostly planted for export. Locals and Africans who were sold and shipped from overseas were subjugated as servants and slaves who provided the labor for food. Meanwhile, the mainland consists of Mexico and the interior regions of Central America. In contrast with the plantation of the Rimland, it has a hacienda style of land use where the land acquisition was aimed for social prestige. The indigenous workers, who were poorly paid if at all, were allowed to live on the haciendas, planting a variety of crops and working their own plots for subsistence. With the hacienda system, the natives lost ownership of the land to European colonizers as they acquired thousands or millions of acres, leading to land alienation. It can also be noted that because of enslavement, diseases, and warfare, the local population significantly decreased. In 1821, most of the countries declared their independence and marked the end of the colonial period. As Middle America entered the 20th century, it became increasingly reliant on coffee and bananas as exports, which further integrated Central America into the global economy. However, poverty still continues to be a significant issue among the indigenous people in Middle America.
And moving on to the general culture, starting with Central America, which is filled with outstanding natural resources and wildlife, such as volcanoes, rainforests, and jungles. Some of its attraction can be also seen in the video below. Its culture is also heavily influenced by native and Spanish cultures because of its colonization, which led them to adopt Roman Catholic as their primary religion. Their tradition also includes combining native and Spanish influences in their religious and civic festivals. Next, we have the Caribbean, which is considered as one of the world's top tourist destinations with its breathtaking scenery of the different islands and beaches. Because of this, most of the small economies heavily rely on its tourism as their source of income. Its culture is also rich in art, music, and literature, which shows the creativity of the Caribbean community. Lastly, they are also extremely vulnerable to natural disasters due to their tectonic environment. And even though this greatly affects the country's economy, it helps the community to strengthen their resilience and preparedness. Lastly, Mexico is known for its rich, colorful, and vibrant culture, which was greatly influenced by the Aztec and Maya ancient civilizations and European colonization. Similar to the two regions, they are known for celebrating numerous festivals and fiestas filled with lively music and dance. Additionally, its cuisine is highly known for blending indigenous and European cultures. Mexico is also filled with different natural resources such as beaches, jungles, and deserts, which tourists all over the world adore. Overall, each three have their own unique culture that makes them stand out from the rest and showcase their identity with their famous destinations and festivals.
Next, we proceed to talk about the political environment of these regions. So this will include topics such as economic landscape and political situations. We begin by talking about the struggles and turmoil within Central America and Mexico. For many years now, corruption, violence, and crime has been a major issue within the Central American nations and Mexico. With some countries such as Guatemala and El Salvador having history of civil wars and other unrest and problems such as drug trafficking and organized crime, the region is plagued with these issues that have resulted in a difficult living environment, which has led to an increase of outward migration towards the United States. So much so that it has become a major concern for the US, with issues of drugs and violence leaking through their borders, which has prompted interventions such as former President Trump's infamous proclamation of establishing a wall to curb the migration towards their nation. Despite all this, Mexico specifically remains the 15th largest economy in the world in terms of GDP, with Mexico considered to be one of the most open countries in the world with regards to trading, and their close proximity to one of the world's largest nations. They have been able to solidify their nation's economy despite the various troubles plaguing the region. The Caribbean region is home to some famous tourist destinations, vibrant sceneries, and landscapes. As such, majority of the region's economy is fueled by activities such as tourism. In turn, some of the region's main struggles are tied to their natural environment. The Caribbean is extremely susceptible to climate change and natural disasters, such as strong hurricanes and even volcanic eruptions. Similarly, with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic and the shutdown of tourism globally, one of the Caribbean's greatest contributors to their economy was greatly hampered, leading to a decrease in their growth. The region experienced an almost 9% decrease in their economic growth rate brought about by the effects of the pandemic on tourism alone. Lastly would be the brief economic snapshot of the region. Here we will feature the 10 largest economies within the region. Unsurprisingly, Mexico is the largest economy with a whopping GDP of $1.076 trillion, followed by the likes of Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, Panama, El Salvador, Honduras, Trinidad and Tobago, and finally, Jamaica.
And that is the end of our presentation. Thank you very much for listening.